Welcome to Learning from Men podcast. Learning from Men is a space to learn from men in order to better serve men. Today we are learning from life coach James Bond. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors before we get started. Our sponsor is Men of Jesus, and Men of Jesus is an organization dedicated to assisting men in their personal Christian awareness, improvement, and social enrichment. For over 23 years, Men of Jesus has been working consistently in acknowledging that when men gather together in a relationship with Jesus Christ, they have the power to transform their lives and achieve the vision of our vision is better men, better families, and better communication. And so if you're striving to walk in your faith and you're a man, I encourage you to go sign up for our MOJ email newsletter. Also be a part of our monthly roundtables. And we are working on coaching and support systems for men as well. And so come be a part of the great things going on. Our second sponsor for today is 5+2 After School Leadership Program, an initiative dedicated to securing the future leadership of our young men. We would love your support for that as well. You go to mojesus.org in order to learn more about both Men of Jesus and our 5+2 leadership program. James, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, Dr. Hetty, doing good this evening, brother. Just kind of winding down the day here and getting ready for the start of the busy week.
Yep, you're out on the West Coast. I'm here in the Midwest. There's a little bit of a time difference, which worked out great for tonight, so we could be able to have this conversation around just being a man. And so let's jump right into this. The first question I just want to ask is, what's one thing you wish someone would have told you about being a man when you were younger?
One thing is two parts to that. The first thing that I remember my dad told me, basically on his deathbed, which was a very interesting time for him. He got sick and had 6 heart attacks in 1 year, and then finally he just didn't make it through that year. But he told me that I wanted to apologize to you. Apologize for what? He says that, I've raised you and your brother that men don't cry. And that's something that I realize now that I'm passing my damage on to you. So it's okay to release. It's okay to cry as long as you're not being a wimp. And what that means is that man up means, okay, yeah, be strong, be a man about it. But if you have to release some of that energy, you have to release that energy. And so I would think if someone had told me earlier in that, I would have had a little less issues of trying to be a tough guy or not trying to be strong in situations where you should just be able to sit down and just kind of deal with yourself. So like I tell my clients now that are men, it's like, just sit outside in the rain and cry. And most of my clients try that. They're blown away by that. Literally sit outside in the rain, get a chair out there and just cry. And they are always, not one yet after these 17 years, have come back and said, that was stupid. They've all come back and said, man, that was powerful. And so I think because it's okay to cry. It's okay to have emotional feelings, ups and downs. It's okay just to be you. So if somebody told me that earlier, would have been phenomenal.
That's good. Talking about tears, Psalms 126:5. I was reading that this week. It says, "Those who plant in tears will harvest with shouts of joy." And I made this note: crying is healthy when it's crying out to God. And then I said, there are happy tears too because of God's goodness being experienced in your heart. That happy tears came from one time I was on stage and my son saw me crying, and he looked over to his mom and asked her why I was crying, and she told him those were happy tears. Just the joy of the Lord happening inside of my life. One of the commentaries said, our tears can be seeds that will grow into a harvest of joy because God is able to bring good out of tragedy. And so,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's a
and I remember
great
for
point.
me years ago, I was sitting there at my church in Orlando, and I just started crying. I was just seminary, and I just started crying. So my pastor looked back at me, and the pastor was like, he looked back, and I said, "Pastor, what's going on?" He started laughing uncontrollably. He said, "Okay, big tough fella, Holy Spirit's got you now." I sat there, my wife was so moved by it. She got up and moved. She literally freaked her out about it. She's like, oh, she's never seen me do that before. Even my father
Yeah.
passed away. She never seen me do that before. And so she was like,
Wow.
get up and move. And she's like, what in the world is it? What in the world? And it was funny later on. But he's just like, what are you laughing for? Okay, big tough guy, Holy Spirit's guy. He lets you go when he really lets you go. And I
Yeah.
literally had my front suit was wet. And I was just screaming down almost the all whole show. He kept, "What are you laughing for?" He said, "'Cause gotcha now, tough guy."
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Tell me, talking about things that you wish you would have learned, what has fatherhood taught you about yourself? Like, what has being a father taught you?
You know, one thing it's taught me that the human beings we will model more than we know. So for me, I say that because growing up, I said, I'm going to make sure that I spend more time at home. Our kids, my dad worked all the time. My mom worked all the time. I'm going to spend. Sure enough, I was in my 30s before I realized I'm working all the time because we go off modeling come basis what we want to do. So I was modeled at because I was always like the word said, you don't work, you don't eat. So I was like, I don't work, I don't eat. So I got to work all the time. And then so again, took the late 30s, mid late 30s, realized what am I doing? I'm following the same pattern. I'm following the same pattern here. So I think so for me it's more so of realizing, like I tell my kids, do what you love to do and live off what you make. Don't chase money. I chased it, found it, chased it, caught it, chased it, caught it, and it ran away, chased it. Don't chase money. Chase your purpose. Chase why you were sent to earth. So you don't show up on that day with a bag full of gifts that you were meant to give away. Don't
Yeah,
work, you don't eat, you know. It's like, no, what it means is working for God, working, you're sharing the gospel. Doesn't mean necessarily physical working. So that's something that really have to come and get into as well, is know who you are and know what you're sent on earth to do, like I said earlier. What are you sent here to do? So, you know, it's more so just us realizing, you know, why we're here and work while it's a day and just, you know,
yeah,
doing what teaching our kids and teaching them again to do what you love to do and live off of that. Don't chase money.
yeah. Right, right. That's good. What do you think men struggle with the most but rarely talk about?
I think it's mostly their emotions, not realizing it's okay to be up and down. And I think that, you know, also being a fact of being misinterpreting what being a leader means. You
Yeah,
know, we said this for a couple of times on our roundtable when I asked people, when last time you died for your wife? Meaning that, do you have to be right? And meaning that the head of the house means that you're the servant of the house. But we were misconstrued at walking around. What some people think that means walking around sniffing, scratching. Woman, give me a drink. Fix my plate. Fix
yeah,
my. It doesn't mean that. I'm sure it doesn't mean that. What it
yeah,
means that you're there to serve her. What it
yeah,
means that you're there to make sure that she's emotionally sound in the word. She's emotionally sound as a person. She's heard. She's listened to, and she's not help meet, because we were always most people talk help mate. The word says help meet. Meet and mate aren't the same thing. And so, you know, again, just kind of make sure that we really understand that being the head of the house means you're the head servant.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, because you think we're supposed to follow after the example of Jesus Christ. Well, he says to love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Yeah,
And how did he show his love for us is by dying for us,
that's
you
right.
know?
That's right.
And he said, I didn't come to be served, but to serve.
That's right.
So
That's
that's
right.
the model that we should have as men.
Yeah, yeah, and we get confused because, you know, there's so much, unfortunately, so many churches now are still caught in the entertainment phase, and we need to be in a teaching phase. And so when we look for a church now for my family, I look for a church that's teaching, not a church entertaining. If they have no
Yeah.
choir, that's okay as long as they're teaching the word of God. Because we had to be careful of not going there to be entertained, because we go and we feel good on Sunday, and on Monday morning we in a battle that we're wavering in the battle because we left the entertainment there on Sunday. And we ain't got no word to fight with on Monday.
Right, right. Yeah, that's good. Thinking about that, do you think I was listening to a guy the other day, I won't say his name because he and I are friends, but he's pretty well known now. But
Yeah.
he was talking about he didn't really know who he was until he was 45.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he had a
yeah,
real identity problem. He said this and it was so profound. He said, people knew me by what I did, but they didn't know who I was. I didn't know who
that
I was. I knew what I could do, but I didn't know who I was. Was there's
and
that
that's yeah.
difference there, right?
Yes, that's I teach a lot of my clients that now, especially athletes, especially business CEOs. We're taught. Somebody says, "Man, who are you?" "Well, I'm a car salesman. I'm a real estate broker. I'm a CEO." No, 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 no. Who are you? And that simple statement has been lost in the shadows since from the beginning of time. Well, who are you? I'm a child of the King. I'm a man finding my way. What do you do? I am CEO. I'm a founder. I'm a life coach. Two totally, because we find out when you say, well, hey, who are you? I'm a CEO. So now everything you do is based off around being a CEO. And that's
Yeah,
not who you are. That's what you do. And
yeah,
so people have a hard time trying to live up myself even. And years ago, I had a circle of people around me who I'm very aware of the word friendship. I did a speech on this years ago in the state of Florida, where I did study this forever. And this research shows things like Columbia, and I want to say it's Columbia, and I believe it was Harvard as well. Average person in a lifetime can only have two best friends. That's a scary thought, how we look at friendship. Everybody's the best friend. Two best
Yeah.
friends. If you got more than that, you don't know what the word best friend means. And so for me, I've always been able to separate people from friendship to people who like to be around me because of my persona. Persona is what I do. Who I am is who I am. And so
Yeah.
a lot of, like you said, a lot of people, they want to go in there 50 years old, wake up. It's like, I have a client, matter of fact, over in England, 78 years old. He started and sold two major companies, and he's still trying to find what he's sent here to do. And I'm thinking like, wow, you're super wealthy, super successful, but you're 78 and just now hiring me to come into a place to help you realize who you are as a human being and why you're on
Yeah.
earth. And it's like this guy is going, but he has so many things that were modeled to him. He was young, of course, the European lifestyle. He was sent to boarding school, single child, born, never saw his parents except for holidays and short vacations. So he had a disdain for his parents. Well, now he got older, his parents got older. And so he had to take care of his parents. He had a disdain for them because he didn't know who they were, technically, because he was at
Mm.
home, only home a couple times a year. And so, so that being said, it was a lot of just, again, trying to place himself. And so we had to remind ourselves, and people in a circle, somebody says, hey, who are you? Say who you are. I'm a man searching for my purpose. I'm a person walking in my purpose. I'm a believer. Whatever faith you want to have, that's your choice. But whatever you are, say yes. Then you say, what do you do? That's your vocation. Because I tell also, to stay on too long here, but I tell people all the time, there's a difference in your job and your work. Our goal is to find out what our work which Jesus Christ sent us here to do. That's our work. Our job will feed the family 9 to 5. Your work is what you're sent here to do. The purpose, of course, is to get your work to be able to feed you.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're going to need work and need a job, but they're not the same thing.
Wow. Yeah. And we struggled with that for a long time. And I guess some of that's the reason the 5+2, like just really taking young people and helping them identify who they are early, especially young
Yeah,
men,
yeah.
starting with those 8th grade boys. I mean, hopefully in their homes, they're getting that in their homes, but we want to come alongside families to be able to support and get young men to understand who they are early versus they begin to identify themselves with what they do versus who God's called them to be and who they are.
Yeah, that's a big difference because again, a lot of people, they're going through things at home that are just, whether it's single parent or either two-parent house. Sometimes the two-parent household is worse because you have a dad that's there but not physically there, or he's
Yeah.
there but he's super. Had one of my clients, both parents household. Then he realized he got older. Only mom worked, and my dad sat down and got high all the time on different substances, but only mom worked.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he got to college and he got successful, his mom left his dad and she was done with that. And he just realized she did that because she thought statistics show two household parents are more successful. Didn't realize it was a burden because he realized his dad was not doing anything. He was there. So
Yeah.
it was worse than being one because his dad slept all day. And then with him, it was always arguments because he didn't do anything. So
Yeah.
it's a thing that, yeah. But then you get the single parent household where the mom or single dad, they're broken. All they talk about is how bitter, how much you look like their others, how much you look like your other parent. You're stupid like your dad. You're
Yeah.
lazy like your mom. And it's like, now you're damaging this. My mom always told us, mom and dad, when we grew, have kids, one thing you have to do, and I took this when I teach my clients this now because it's so profound. Never thought about it. She says, always correct the problem, not the person.
Mm.
Meaning, you're not so stupid you broke that vase. You broke the vase because you were playing in the house.
Yeah.
So it's a difference.
Yeah.
So if I call you stupid, now that's sitting into your soul. Now you're thinking, I'm stupid. I am not able to, versus I made a mistake and played in the house, smaller confines, and I caused damage. I bounced the ball in the house and I broke the vase. She said, always correct the action, not the person.
That's
And
good.
so, yeah, I thought, what does that mean? Because you don't want to damage a person's character,
Right.
but you want to correct their action.
Yeah. Wow. That's good. That's so good. What are some questions that you think men should be asking themselves right now?
I think the biggest thing is again, who am I? In other words, how do I find out I'm an individual person? That's why I wrote my book a couple years ago now, Discover Your Purpose, the book that I learned. Meaning that, okay, I am James. Who is James? What is, well, okay, I'm 6'2", I'm 200. Okay, what is that? Okay, you're not George. My dad was Reverend George Bonds. You're not George Bonds. You're a seed of George Bonds. You're a child of George Bonds, but I don't have to be like him, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so that's what I add. That's one of the questions is who am I? And again, another question is what am I sent here to do? And when I counsel couples and married couples in premarital counseling, I always tell them to go find a couple, preferably in your church, that's been married for a long time, that's happy, not just angry, that's happy. Take them to dinner once a quarter, whatever your budget can hold. Don't be fancy, whatever your budget have. Yeah, and tell them what you're doing. I'm going to ask you a ton of questions at dinner. You're getting a free dinner out on us, a date night with us. But I'll ask you a ton of questions. Go get a 99-cent notepad somewhere, a journal somewhere, and ask them questions. What does it take to be married for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years? Because one thing I used years ago, one of my mentors was a bishop in Missouri, and he was married for 78 years. 78 years. So when I asked him questions on marriage, he could tell me some hard questions. And he one that really told me the fact that one time, is being right worth the confusion? Wow. Did you win when you really lost? I was like, sometimes no one to shut up. Like, wow, that's something that, we've always told the women and male shoulders. And he told me some pretty profound, like, no, just sometimes you got to, when you're upset with her, hold her hands, look her in the face, and tell her you're upset with her. Because when you're disconnected across the room, that energy is more violent to her sometimes than hitting her.
Yeah.
I'm like, so
Right.
yeah, so find out, so get mentors and a mentor at many things. One of the easy way to do it is going to be somebody that's doing what you want to do and doing at a successful level. Because you'd be amazed out in people who want to pour into people. People want to pour into people. To say, hey, man, can I
Yeah.
get 2 minutes of your time? Can I just walk with you and take notes? Ask you questions. I can't afford it. I'll take you to dinner or take you to lunch, but can I get a cup of coffee? The new thing now is get a cup of coffee. So, yeah.
Yeah. I tell people all the time now, I was like, I'd rather go get coffee than go to lunch.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the new thing. And that came out, of course, mainly because of budget. Because everybody, yeah, I might take you lunch and you'd be insulted because I didn't take you to a 5-star restaurant. Well, my budget's not a 5-star restaurant. So a cup of coffee, we can go with coffee. I might spend 10, $20 and still be okay with you going up and then, and still also having time to talk to you. So that's the one thing. And also, the question to ask yourself is, what are you going to tell your kids when you have them? Start taking notes early. I wrote a lot of books on parenting. There's a book that I took couples to get now. That book came out years ago, and it's phenomenal for couples to read together. It's called The 7 Rings of Marriage. 7 Rings of Marriage. One of the best books I read in a long time about marriage. So just read the book together. Just talk through the stages of marriage. And then also in your career, again, job versus work. What do you like about your work? Well, I work at UPS. What do you like about UPS? Well, I like the structure. So next time you go for another career, find a job with structure. I like the scheduling. Okay, find a job with heavy logistics. So start looking at your job another level. Not just because as you know, the cliche is people leave their boss, they don't leave their jobs. So I prefer a direct person. When I was in the retail, I prefer direct. Don't sugarcoat. Tell me exactly what I don't care about. I love criticism. Everything I take, the funny, I go into companies now, and when I take those personality profiles, I score out the chart on conflict. I love conflict. And it's not a good thing, but I love conflict. And so I can teach them because it's like, most people, I think it's like 70+% don't like it. We're prefer not have it. I'm on the other side of that coin. And so
Yeah. Yeah.
because I understand it comes down to somebody misheard what you said based off their construct. It's never about you.
Yeah.
It's about, I tell my leaders, when I had my retail company I had years ago, okay, to come working, when I talk to my staff, I would say, how was your morning? Hey, how was the drive in? Oh, it was great. Okay, now I might have to blast into you to correct you on some things you got to go through today. Or you tell me, man, my dog's sick and my baby is not feeling well. My wife's mad at me. I might hold off till tomorrow to do some corrective criticism for you
Yeah.
because your headspace isn't right. So I'm going to lose if I hit you in the head when you already hurt it.
Yeah. And
Versus,
I think
yeah.
go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the same is true with marriage. Like oftentimes we want to have these hard conversations right before bed or,
Yes.
or date night or
Yeah.
when we just got home from work. Like there's these, like just being mindful of
That's right.
the time to discuss. So there's times I've like held off when I feel like I need to have a hard conversation with my
That's
wife. Was
right.
like, I'm not having this conversation right. One, I'm tired, you know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So,
That's right. That's
like,
right. Yeah,
why
that's
would
the
I
thing
try to
right there.
go in this, because then I'm not going to be attentive and all these things. So,
Yeah, it might be short. I might be short, not intentionally, but might be short by my energy, by my movement. And now
yeah.
it's gonna go from 1 to 100 because I was tired. Not because I didn't listen to it say, because I was physically tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going back to that, talking about finding mentors, there's people who want to be able to share the things that they know. I have this talk called Hello Leadership. And one of the things that I mentioned is listen to others more than I talk and take action on what you hear.
Yes.
Because I want to be able to take it in so I can be able to go back and take action on it. And some of that taking action is sometimes just really being able to take it and be able to teach other people. It's like this podcast. Let me learn from other men so I can go serve other men, so I can serve men better. Because I hear this, I'm learning from you. If I can do this with 100 more men, how much
Yeah.
better am I going to be? And we be able to create content to put out there for people as well. But man, it makes me better whenever I can go sit with men and have these conversations.
That's right. It's funny. I was teaching this company a couple years ago now out in California. I was teaching them the art of listening. That I'm a research fanatic and everything. I research things to death sometimes. I like to know. I was always told somebody wrote down what you're going through is written down somewhere. Just got to go find it. That's just my
Yeah.
philosophy. If somebody wrote down somewhere, they got to find it. So I was teaching this company how to listen because the average person right now, when they're talking, we only hear 26% of the conversation. That's a scary thought. Scary. And one of the things I learned over years, research-wise, is that how your brain functions your senses. If you press your tongue against the roof of your mouth while somebody's talking to you, just like, slight, now it's just not where it's uncomfortable, slightly, not where it's uncomfortable, it's slightly, you actually hear up to 44% more of the conversation. And the whole, take, for count to 4, breathe out, count to 3, and then respond is also great as well, too. Because we want to because that's the United States is worse. We're waiting to speak. That's how we're taught since elementary school. Wait to speak. Don't listen, but wait to speak, which is not the same thing as listening. And so we miss the content because we say, hey, you told me I was stupid. No, I did not. I told you that you need to work harder because maybe you learn differently. And it's like, what? Wait a minute. I heard you say, no, you heard that because you're a construct. So
Yeah.
we have to learn how to listen, and whether you practice the 1, the 3, 4, 5, the in, breathe in, 3, breathe, whether you hold a tongue gets roof of your mouth slightly, because your other senses will turn up automatically. This thing in our head is so phenomenal. Whole thing about, we're using 6%, 7%, 10%, that thing, but it's so unique that it's designed to help us win if we take time to utilize it the right way.
That's good. Earlier you mentioned two best friends. Like if a man has two best friends, I think that's how you said it.
Yeah, in a lifetime, and they might rotate, but if they're two best friends, there's how you categorize friends. There's 3 levels of friends you're gonna have in a lifetime. It's just everybody need to understand this fact. The first one is a comrade. A comrade is someone that you may work with, you may see every now and then, you may talk every now and then. That's fine. You work with them, see them every day. That's the person you speak to, and they know your name, you know their name. The next one is a constituent. A constituent, again, you may work with them as well. You don't know your name, know their name. They may know your wife's name, your kid's name. They may vote like you vote. They may believe like you believe. That's a constituent. The next person is a confidant. A confidant is the actual definition for a best friend. Confidant, as we know now, confidant should be your wife, but sometimes confidant is another male, is a male. What that means is that a confidant is someone that you can tell your intricate things to, and it won't be on Facebook in the next 5 minutes. But the problem we have in the world, because we're so busy with the noise in our headspace, is that we meet somebody and we get emotionally attached to them, and we make them a confidant when they only applied to be a comrade. They only applied to be a constituent. The application put in with us, it says, I want to be your comrade only. We make them a confidant. And they were mad when they crossed that line of blurting out information about us that we mentioned to them, one of our secrets, our information, and how you tell that, kind of a slide, tell it, is tell the person your win. How they respond to your win. They respond like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That means they're probably a comrade, at the very highest a constituent, but they're not a confidant. Don't matter. They don't celebrate you. They didn't apply to be your best friend. They didn't apply to be a confidant. They applied to be a comrade. So we got to know what that really means, because we drag people kicking and screaming to be our confidant, and they didn't sign up for that. And you tell them an intricate secret. You tell them I'm interviewing for a job, or everybody know about the job, everybody know about this, that, and now you're mad at them. You drug them into be that position they didn't ask to be. If they don't celebrate you, it's not their fault. Then they're not bad people. They only signed up to be a comrade, which is, I call it levels of love. Confidant you love here, face to face. A constituent you love arm length, and a comrade you love from across the freaking street. But you love them all, but you can't move people in position. They didn't ask to be there. You move them because we're emotional. We're getting emotional tired. Oh, this person's so cool. Person, they're cool because they said something that resonates to you. They're cool because they maybe believe what you believe. They're cool because they both like, Hillcrest music. They may love the music. You sit in the same space. You're both sitting back. You both get into them, the glory, and both feeling the presence of God. That don't mean they want to be your best friend. That means they enjoy what you enjoy. Let them stay in that place until they actually apply to be your confidant or your constituent. Let them stay in position.
That's good. What do you think men don't get enough of?
Don't get enough of love. I mean, like hugs, or get enough of you're okay. Get enough of, man, I see you over there. Get enough of, man, I know. Tell them, it's okay to look at a person and say, my day sucked today. Because we get caught up in the thing I'm working better myself with over the years. How was your day? I was good. No, my day sucked today. And I got, at that point, that's when you really find out about your confidant. If your wife, why did it suck today? Compared to, oh yeah, mine did too. That's okay to say that. That means they're a comrade again. That means they're a comrade. That means they say, man, sit down, let's talk about why it sucked. Man, I had a rough day. Because at the end of the day, the world doesn't like believers. The world hates believers. And we got to realize that. You could say it's black, it's white, it's purple. The world hates believers. We got to get to the point where, and one of my neighbors, he says, man, we got to pray for the world to get better. Pray the world to get better. Did you not read Revelations? Because I've read it. It doesn't say the world getting better. It's not getting better. We're going to get better at enduring, but the world is falling, it's dying. And so, we got to be able to tell each other, my day sucked today. And that's where you have a mentor for this part of life, mentor business, mentor for personal life, mentor for marriage. Like I'm a life coach, of course. Life coaches for life coach, how you to deal with stuff, because we aren't meant to bear this stuff alone. We are meant for family.
Yeah.
We are meant for community. That's why people tell me, well, I'm in church, I have to go to church. The word say don't forsake the gathering of saints. So we get caught up into making the Bible fit ourselves because we want to make it feel good and warm and fuzzy. Again, have you read Revelation before? Have you read it before? you think the pandemic was something. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah. You better.
So that's for man, it's communication. Have a space where you come and sit down and just talk about everything and not be judged.
Yeah, no, that's good. What's a discipline or something or habit that has really helped you grow as a man?
For me, really finding mentors for one, finding a safe space for people, like really getting to know people, to know which level they are in, confidant, comrade, or constituent. Really taking time to really look at people and examine them and pray about meeting people. This one, too. That's one thing. And really just kind of knowing who I am. The world can call me blue, but Christ says I'm saved. So guess what I am? I'm saved. I may look blue, may wear blue, but really knowing my name. And like the song, my name? It's like, my name. You can think of how I want to think, my name. And not to be a pushover. A Christian doesn't mean a believer. That's why I wish we could go back to being called the way. Because we caught up with what Christians should turn both cheeks. It doesn't say that. It just says you got to pray for people. Says you got to give your enemy water, give them food. So we don't take time to know what that really what that means. We take time to be. I got to just turn. I got to not be. No, because last time I read, he turned a few tables over. But you have to stand on. But you also got to make sure that life isn't about you.
Yeah,
life's not about you. Like I said, my goal every day is to go to bed empty of all the gifts I've been given. I don't want to show up on a day with a bag full of gifts. I want to be empty, destitute of all gifts I've been given. I gave them all away. They were not mine to keep.
Yeah.
So that's one thing so for me is more so, did I give all I could give that day? If not, let me make sure I make another call or check on somebody who I know checked on. Because one thing I know for me over the years is like, as a person who is supposed to be have it all together, as a man for the most part, in America at least, we don't need to be checked on according to America, according to society, because we're the ones who got it together. Those will need checked on more because I'm a human being too. So check on me as
Yeah.
well.
Yes, good. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was recently talking to my small group, and I was telling them one of the ways that I identify my maturity, or if I'm maturing, is how I approach my day. Is it about me, or is it about other people? And I
Yeah.
think some of that habit for men is like, no, go serve. Like, not even
Yeah.
for, like, make sure you're not just doing it for a check. Because really, Paul, when you think about Paul said, I work so I can go serve people well. So I
That's
don't have
right.
to ask you for nothing. So I can be all in, and you don't have to. Don't have to be a wall up, feeling like you
That's
got
right.
to pay me, or anything like that. It's like really removing self out of the way, which Matthew 16:24
Yeah, yeah,
is
and
that's what
that's
it's
one thing for
about.
me, and when I lost all that money in Orlando years ago, that millions of dollars from this destitute, one thing I did that helped me out a lot, let's go to the hospital, to the children's wing, and volunteer to read to the kids. I used to go to the nursing home and sit there, either play cards with old people, with senior citizens, and just sit there. The kids sit there because it make kids in the hospital, nobody's coming to see them because sometimes they're orphans or nobody comes see them, or their parents are working. So you'd be amazed at how much you get filled reading to kids who don't know who you are. All they see is a big person caring about them enough to sit here and read to me.
Yeah,
Or a senior citizen in the home, kids off somewhere spending the money, whatever it may be. You can't judge anybody because let's be judged. But sitting there playing cards or just sitting there talking, because I love reading books. So I find myself talking to senior citizens. It's like reading a book to me because they've been there and they've done that. It's why I was at the one lady told me, she said, I think I'm 99 years old. I said, you think you're 99 years old? She said, I think I am, but I stopped counting years ago. And like I'm like, wow, this is hilarious. But I'm thinking about the fact of, because you don't know when the day or the hour. So what does work while it is day mean to you?
yeah,
That means stop stressing about things you can't control and work while it's day. When that time comes, whatever time comes, be working during that time. Be sharing with somebody how bad life isn't instead of how bad
yeah.
life is. And I
Well,
challenge people to the whole thing about reading, go to hospital, reading the children, hospital, reading the children. I dare somebody to try that and say that they didn't have a great day doing that.
you're right.
I dare people to say that because
Yeah,
they don't.
and
Sometimes they're by themselves there.
right. Yeah, the kids.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think understanding what it means to be fulfilled versus happy. Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
real
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's real
Happy,
fulfillment in that. Like, you might not leave happy, but man, you're gonna feel fulfilled. Like
yeah,
it
and
wasn't a
that's yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah. I
happy
think
is a
that's the
false
key.
place. Happy does not
Yes.
exist. Happy
Yeah.
is happy is a lie from the pit of hell, my opinion. Joy is free. Joy is
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Happy, something has to be happening for you to be happy.
Right.
Joy is
Right.
free and joy is forever. Happy is just not it's not a real place. But we've been
Yeah.
taught, don't worry, be happy. What does that mean? How about you be filled with joy? Because it lasts longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Last question is, and I don't know how you go about answers, but you've done a great job so far. But I think you can kill this, because I think this is something that men really have to learn, and it's what is the most important lesson you've learned about balancing ambition and being content?
Oh, that's a good one. For me, it's funny you say that because I tell people now, the short answer, walk in your purpose and money will pursue you.
Yeah.
Walk in your purpose and money will have no choice but to pursue you. There's a book on why evil people are rich, written by a Christian person. Game changer. Because guess what? We get caught up in it. No, walk in your purpose and money will pursue you. Has no choice but to pursue you. That's the 30,000 level answer to that. That's going to be, find out as soon as you can. People say it's like Simon Sinek. I follow him a lot. I met him for your why. Find out why you're here. Again, break down what you do and what do you like specifically about what you do. I work at UPS. Again, like I said earlier, I like the logistics part. Then make sure you find your next career should be something to do with logistics, heavy logistics. I like the physical part. So, okay, so next time, make sure you do some physical labor, high physical labor. That's what you like to do. I remember with Discount Tire in high school, and I used to laugh all the time. I'd say, man, we get paid to work out. because you were working hard physically all day long physically. I mean, you were humping physically. And you as a young person, you felt good about it. I got out of work and I was cut. No beer belly, no like you, but now you killing it. And they getting paid for this? So that's so so again, find your purpose, find your why. Again, like earlier, make sure you know it's okay to have a job, but find your work as soon as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, thank you so much. I just want to be mindful of time. And I think we've dropped so much in here.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be well worth listening to, but I've learned a lot out of this. I think, again, I can take this and continue to serve men and help them go further, better in their stories.
Yes.
Man, any last words?
Again, find a person that is doing what you do at the level you want to do it at. And just walk up to that person and say, hey, I need 5 minutes of your time once a month, once a week, once a quarter. And I have money right now to pay you, but I'll get you a cup of coffee or whatever you do I'll earn it. Any way I'm going to earn it, I'll earn it. You tell me how to earn it. But I got a notebook here. I want to write down 5 questions every time we talk about what you do. Somebody's doing what you want to do at a level you want to do it. You got to go find them because you have a purpose. Find your purpose, and money will pursue you like you would not believe. It will chase you down.
That's good. Thank you, sir. Hey, tell people how they can find you.
It's Well Driven Life, welldrivenlife.com, or just call me 866-775-5233. Welldrivenlife.com is my website.
Thank you, James, so much. Thank you all for listening on the first episode of Learning from Men podcast. And we are trying, I'm trying to get 100 episodes done by January 1st, 2026, because I want to learn from men so I can better serve men. Thank you to Men of Jesus for sponsoring today's episode. Also, our other sponsors, 5+2 After School Program. You can learn about both of them at mojesus.org, mojesus.org. Thank you all so much. Be on the lookout for episode 2 coming soon.